Breaking news coming in. Markets have opened in the red. The rupee has opened at a 5-month low against the US dollar. Contrary to widespread expectations and dashing New Delhi's hopes of a relatively better trade deal, this as Donald Trump announced that 25% tariff on friend India. Trump's tariff is a significant negative for several sectors of the Indian economy, as some analysts and experts assert, including textile, auto components, leather goods, gems and jewelry, as well as certain food exports. The tariffs, as expected, were to have a cascading effect on overall stock market sentiment as well. In fact, NDTV Profit has been tracking all that's happening with the markets. Hiral Dadia now joins us with the latest. Hiral, it seems that the markets are spooked with Donald Trump's latest announcement of tariffs and penalty.
Absolutely, Parmeshwar. Clearly, the markets have been spooked. We have seen a gap down open completely in terms of markets. If you see Nifty 50, it's opened below that 24,700 mark in trade today. Bank Nifty has actually opened below that 56,000 mark as well. So clearly, there is pressure which has come in. And we're seeing cuts of nearly 0.5% on Nifty 50. If you talk about Bank Nifty as well, 0.5% kind of cuts. In fact, what's interesting is the cuts in terms of broader markets are deeper. If you talk about the mid-cap index as well, that is seeing cuts to the tune of nearly 1% as we speak. So that's where the pressure is building in, because the major impact is on sectors which do belong to this segment. Overall, if you talk about individual sectors as well, all sectoral indices are actually trading in the red. So no one has been spared right now. 47 of Nifty 50 stocks as well have been declining in trade. So you just have 3 of them which are trading in the positive. Overall, if you talk about individual stocks, the ones which are actually resilient right now, you have Eternal, which is erstwhile Zomato. Jio Financial Services is trading in the positive on the back of the fundraise. SBI Life also trading in the positive. But major cuts coming in with regards to Reliance Industries, because the kind of exposure that they have to Russian oil, I think it's a 3% impact in terms of EBITDA that you're tracking on the back of the tariffs. Bharti Airtel also contributing to the kind of losses that we're seeing in today's session. HDFC Bank, ICICI Bank also trading weak, and M&M that has been reacting to numbers right now, because the commentary was positive, but I think the street is reading into it with a slightly negative bias. In terms of individual sectors, oil and gas is the top losing sector with cuts of nearly over 1.5% coming in there, which is then followed by media, auto, defense, and energy. Realty, metals, all of them down in that range of around 1 to 1.1%. The only sectors which are resilient and are seeing the least amount of impact is Nifty FMCG, which is slightly resilient, taking into consideration the domestic exposure that you're tracking there. Bank Nifty is the second one, which is the second lowest losing sector today. But apart from that, if you talk about individual sectors, all are under pressure. Financials are dragging Nifty to the tune of almost 50 points. And what I mean by that is all your BFSI stocks, that's the banking and financial stocks, are dragging Nifty 50 lower to the tune of almost 50 points in trade as we've opened up so far. Overall, if you talk about NSE trade as well, there are 23 stocks that have actually hit lower circuit in intraday trade right now. Almost 1,934 stocks are trading in the red as well. So that's the overall picture that you're looking at least in terms of where, the large cap space goes. If you look at individual companies in the broader markets, I'll quickly take you through the ones which are gaining and the ones which are losing, because on the gaining end, HEG, an interesting name on the back of earnings, that stock is reacting positively. Greaves Cotton, again on the back of earnings, is reacting positively. Orchid Pharma is another one which is on the positive side. Gokuldas Exports, they are ones who will have exposure to the US markets, and that stock is down almost 6 to 7% in trade. Goldium is also trading under pressure today on the back of the exposure that they have to the US markets. Wellspun Living, again a textile firm having exposure to the US markets, and Avanti Feeds that has been trading under pressure. Let's quickly look at few of the names, in terms of individual companies having exposure to the US markets, which are seeing pressure. So if you talk about sectors, animal products, footwear, transportation, chemicals, these are the major ones which have the highest tariff differential with the US markets, on the back of which, if you talk about Individual auto and auto ancillary stocks like Sona BLW, Ramkrishna Forging, Bharat Forge, Tata Motors, and a Samvardhana Motherson are under pressure. Pharma stocks slightly more resilient. So that's the overall picture. Yes, a gap down. Now, whether this will be taken as a knee jerk or not is what we have to wait and watch and see in terms of how the day pans out. Over to you.